This was a speech about planetary defense against near-Earth objects such as asteroids or comets. And as the speakers like to point out, the dinosaurs did not have any such planetary defense, and that's why they're not here anymore. So while it's straight out of a late 90s sci-fi movie, it's a real concern. Now this is a panel on the COTS program with NASA, and it was pretty fascinating. Representatives from Boeing, SpaceX, the FAA, and NASA were there to talk about the successes that they've had so far in the future direction. And if to follow, it's been a real neat program that saved a lot of money. Now, the Apollo program, of course, was well before my time, and I never got to see one of these on the launch pad, let alone... I've only seen videos of the launches, and just to appreciate the size of it, though, you really have to just get up close to it. The engines, the F1 engines, about 16 feet across, each produce 1.5 million foot-pounds of thrust, the largest single-chamber engine ever developed. Now here's the real one. This was a test model to measure the effects of the actual shaking and vibrations under launch. But here's the 5 F1 engines. Just incredible. It's just an incredible machine, a marvel of engineering and the potential for what humans can accomplish. You know, walking along this, it's longer than a football field. It took a while. Up here is the second stage, which has 5 J2 engines at a smaller engines. They're only a 250,000 foot-pounds of thrust each, and then that's the third stage. It just has a single engine. Yeah, just really humbling experience to be by this. Here is, as the plaque says, Casper, the Apollo 16 command module that returned them and went through the atmosphere. That must be an exhilarating ride to, just be going thousands of miles an hour in this very relatively small, tin can, but an incredibly complex tin can that it is. Just look at the door mechanism. They had to have the parachutes out, and just it's really incredible that this is even possible. There's the remains of the ablative material. This protects the astronauts from the heat of re-entry, especially at those high speeds. That's one of the baskets that was used to lift the astronauts out of the water back to after they landed. Some spacesuits. And if spending 11 days or so cramped up in a little and tin can wasn't bad enough. After you got home, you got to spend a nice 21 days in here. For the first couple of Apollo missions, people were concerned about the astronauts bringing back moon germs, so they kept them in this to see if they'd get sick. Luckily, there is no moon germs, as we know of. The keynote address by Robert Bigelow. Bigelow Aerospace is accomplishing some really fantastic things. They already have some of their modules orbiting in space that are operating successfully. Instead of trying to send up your spacecraft like the International Space Station as a static piece of equipment, their scheme is to send up something that inflates much like a beach ball would. And it's a system that works, and they're coming up with some really impressive designs, and they're already flying some, so they're proving their systems as they're going. You can see some more information on their website, but the BA330 has about a third of the volume of the International Space Station. It's just one piece, so the crowd was very interested to hear him talk. Now, this was a really neat project. Some students from around the world competed to design a space station, not so much to do research necessarily, but also just to live. Their plan was for only about $250 billion, for 20,000 people to live or so. And at this last part, this was a lot of fun. I got to take a couple rides over the course of the days I was there on the multi-axis trainer. I've always wanted to ride on one of these things, and now I finally got the opportunity. So here I only rode it for about a minute, but later, I think the next day, I rode it for 5 minutes, and that was fun. You don't feel it until after you get off, actually.